So much for sharing the show. How is everyone doing? Good morning, Patrine Numerology. How are you? Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. I'm just going to go to good morning, Jen's Jelly Shop. Good morning. What a great name. Welcome in. I am just there we go. Just checking my show and trying to open it up. There we go. Welcome in. Vintage Homestead Metal Fair. Good morning. Feel free to share your shows and ask your questions. That's what I'm here for. I'm just gonna edit. There we go. Backspace. Backspace. Delete. Delete. Post. There we go. Welcome in, everybody. I don't know why the 8 game is still there. Boop. Remove from live show. There we go. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're having a fabulous day. Okay, so it's Q&A today. Ask any question that you want, and I will try and answer. We're going to go for about an hour or so, depending on how busy it gets. But I'm just here to answer your questions and chat about a few things. Um, for those of you who celebrated Canada Day, I hope you had a fabulous time, and happy 4th of July to my American friends. Happy 250th anniversary of your country's declaration of independence. Ours isn't as old as yours. Ours is only 1867, but Canada was around for longer than that. What I do want to chat about, Jen's Jelly Shop has a great question. Why would you want to choose only having verified buyers in your show? Great question. Elaine's daughter, hello. So verified buyers means that for sure that they have like put in their payment information and that it's been verified. Magnets by Marika, thank you for the raid. Everyone, please follow Magnets by Marika. Marika, I'm going to moderate you so you can make an announcement of when your next show is. We're just getting started, so welcome in, everybody. Make sure you're following Magnets by Marika. We had a question from Jen's Jelly Shop. She was asking, why would you use verified buyers? So some sellers do use verified buyers because those buyers for sure have all of their payment information has been verified. So if you've made a purchase on Whatnot and it's gone through properly, then you are a verified buyer. Some major bigger sellers will will use that because yes, Eleni, for sure. Eleni's daughter definitely asked your question. They will use that because sometimes in some big shows, trolls will come in, and this doesn't happen. I've never seen this happen in any shows that I've ever been in, but some big sellers in like cards and that will have troll bidders who will come in and purposely bid up items to ridiculous prices, and then no, and the payment then doesn't go through. So that is why they do that, so that they to avoid troll bidders who are bidding just to cause trouble. But I normally don't have it turned on. Every once in a while, my finger slips and I turn it on. But you had a troll bidder, so yeah. So if you've had a troll bidder, sometimes you have someone who literally like they forgot that they had made a car payment and so now they don't have any money left or something, and they disappear, and it's not necessarily a troll. It's just, life happens. um Whenever you see that payment did not get processed, don't immediately assume that that means that it's not going to go through. The Whatnot system will keep trying for the rest of your show. And so at the end of your show, you might want to go and see if there's any that say payment not processed, and you can rerun those things. But if you rerun it again because it says payment not processed, um, that doesn't mean necessarily that that person isn't going to pay at some point during your show. So always be careful about that. I've seen people run things right after they see payment not processed, and they rerun it thinking that that they're going to uh, get a state like they end up selling the same thing twice because the person's payment does go through. So yeah. So if you have multiple troll bidders, then you can put on verified buyers. I don't think it really stops it doesn't stop most people. It doesn't stop anybody from coming in and watching your show. If they're not a verified buyer, they can still come in and watch. It just means that they are unable to bid until they're verified. Um, but I don't use it. I haven't seen a need to use it in 3.5 years. Okay, so Elaine's daughter has a question about thermal printers. I have a Rollo and I can't configure Whatnot shipping to print them properly. Does anyone know how? So is it printing out like it's still going to go on a big piece of paper? Is that the problem? And good morning, everyone who's come in. Welcome in. Hello, Pac-Man girl. I'm all right. Okay, so let me just go to help.whatnot.com. And we're going to go to printer settings. I think this is okay. So on help.whatnot.com, so there's two places. So I'm gonna start by just hang on, start sharing, and we're gonna go to this one. So Whatnot has an article. If you go to help.whatnot.com, you're going to find a lot of amazing information. And this one is update your default shipping label settings, your size and return address. So that's your first step, is to do that, to change it from 8.5 by 11 to 4 by 6. The next is to go, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this to you. I don't think I am, so hang on. The next is to go to your printer settings. So you need to, if you're using Windows or whatever, you want to go to your printers and scanners, and then you want to find the printer or scanner. So in my case, it's a Veretti Thermal. And then you're going to go down to, let me show you, hang on. Can I place this so that I can show you? I'm not set up for show and tell, but we're going to figure this out. Okay. Switch. Okay, so in my printer settings, sorry that the lights are, okay, so you're going to go to your printing preferences right here. Your orientation, page order, pages per sheet, borders, paper source, all of that. And then that's going to open up this. Now, right now, I am still set up for my little tiny ones, but you want to make sure that it's 4 by 6, or if that's the size that you have, 4 by 6. And then you want to make sure that it's portrait. And then you can check additional options. I have a vertical offset for my other one, so I put that as 0. And make sure that you hit apply down here. Hit apply, and then okay, and then hit apply again after you've finished all that. Make sure that you hit apply again. And then okay, and then it should have you now set up. And again, this is under, so what I basically did was, hang on, let me see if I can zoom out. Yeah, come on, Whatnot, let me zoom out. Okay, so what I did was I went down here to my search, and I asked it for printer settings. I searched for printer settings. I typed it in. And no, that's not what I wanted. Okay, I go in here and I type in printers and scanners. So I type in printers, sorry. Yeah, I assume you're using your computer. And then you want to go to whichever one it's called. As you can see, I have a lot. And then, of course, then printing preferences. So the printing preferences is where you can fix it. So it's probably here in your printing preferences. So whenever I switch sizes, for example, right now I better switch it back to 2.5 and make sure my vertical offset is 5. Apply, okay, apply, okay. Now I'm back to my little thing. So yeah, try that, see if that works. It may not work, but you can always try that. That would be my suggestion. So because it thinks it's printing, and also, yeah, if it's printing, as Pac-Man Girl says, if it's printing sideways, so you're only getting like half on, you're getting a little tiny label, then it might be you need to tell it to do portrait versus landscape. You can play around with that, but it's in your printing settings. So you have to go to printers and then yeah, and it should show you preview. Um DJE Hi says I haven't been on for a while, but is it possible US sellers have lowered their shipping costs to Canada? It is, yes. Whatnot has made a new arrangement with USPS, United States Postal Service, and so shipping up to Canada has become cheaper. Yes. So you can shop with the Americans. Um, the other way around has not occurred. So, yes, absolutely. It is cheaper to buy, but don't forget that there's still customs charges that you may have to pay. Um, and Comms Collections, good morning, Comms. What is the all-in cost for the thermal printer plus labels? Wondering if it's in the budget for myself. So, good question. So, I bought, now this one's dead. Let me see if I can get into my Amazon account from here. You know, because so to be honest, I went on Amazon to buy my stuff, and let's see, returns and orders, my orders, label, enter. Okay, so labels, my orders, labels, thermal. I'll try thermal. Hang on, sorry everybody. Yeah, it is a good investment. I have a Veretti, and I think I have a thermal. I'm just trying to find my order. No, it's not coming up. Oh, you know what? It's because I'm in Prime Business. Mm, I don't want Prime Business. Hang on. Um, I order. I gotta find them on here. So even a rough idea. Okay. I'm so used to just grabbing my phone to look at things, but this phone is currently dead. So what I do is I bought off of let's see, thermal label 4x6. So I buy my thermal labels, these 4x6 ones, in packs of 4 at a time. And let's see. 500, no. I buy, so I, this one I paid, you get 1800 pieces, and that is $41.79, which is 2 cents each. So 2 cents each for the labels. Your printer is going to cost you anywhere from $50 up. Sometimes you can find them on Marketplace for cheaper. And sometimes you can pay a little bit more for like $100 one that's got Bluetooth and that sort of thing. So say you do 1,000 sales, see if you're aiming for 1,000 sales a month. Um, your thermal printer will probably pay for itself just in efficiency, because it's a lot faster to just hit print and then slap it on than the tape job. And your tape costs money too. So um, tape ain't cheap anymore either. So, and there's just that quick, fast zip zip. I also print my, as you know, Comms, I print my packing slips on the thermal printer as well. Except when I have a very large order, then I send it to 8.5 by 11. But I tell the system to I tell the printer to print 4 pages per sheet, double sided. So then I only use like one piece of paper for like a big order. And that's like, so then I'm saving 6. I'm saving myself 16 cents printing it on paper instead of printing it on the labels. But they're only 2 cents a piece. If you buy them in bulk. Um, you may feel like I'm never going to use up all these labels, but you will. And they, as long as you keep them in a cool, dark place, you're not going to have to worry about them. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Eleni Star says, "Are you printing the portion of the shipping label? You keep the one with the tracking number." No, I don't. No, because no, I don't. I just I don't even ask for the receipt. My tracking number is on the Whatnot app. If I need to track it, I just go to the Whatnot app, click on that shipment, and I can see. I can click on the. I don't need the tracking number. The Whatnot system saves the tracking number for me, so I never save any of that kind of stuff. I don't even ask for the receipt, because I can see that it got beeped in. I call it getting beeped in. I watch it getting beeped in. I know that it's in the system and it's fine. Most of them are Bluetooth adaptable. I print mine from my cell. If you run out of labels, you can buy thermal rolls for $2. Yeah. Um, I don't use Bluetooth just because I print off of my computer, because I make sure all my adjustments are done before I print, and I just like it. It's a lot easier. And I just have sort of a system for that. Yeah. Um, but they got really great ideas. Yeah, store the labels in the sole. Um, checking to see. Pac-Man Girl says I bought mine on Amazon and it came with 500 thermal labels with it for $50. After that's cost 18 for 500 on Amazon. Yeah. So I think a thermal printer is a good investment. I just think of like when I do have to use my printer instead, um, it takes a lot longer to print, and I know I could do something, but you kind of stand there waiting for the printer to print it out instead of going and doing something else. Um, but I also find that it's just, yeah, I mean, I just fold. I fold the paper. I fold the paper unless I'm also printing the shipping label, then I will cut it out and plop it on. Um, but I just fold it. I just fold the paper in, and then I don't worry about cutting the label. But taping it takes time, and you have to be careful because you don't want it to wrinkle, because then it's harder to read, so you need it to be super flat. And then you also have to worry about keeping the tape off of the barcode so that it still can be read easily. um Yeah, and Padma Girl says you can also use your thermal printer to print out any type of stickers you want. You can do thank you notes. I do little, like, thank you for I have one that I made that says thank you for supporting my thrifting addiction. I have other ones that are for the box, like this box is lovingly recycled. I used to put them on like circles. I used to get the circles and switch it out. I don't do that anymore. I just print it out on 4x6 and cut I put like 4 on a 4x6 and cut it out because I'm lazy. So I think I'm gonna redesign those labels. Um, Pac-Man Girl says you can also print out other stuff like thank you notes, a candy chocolate, solarium circles, a thank you all over my boxes so people know it's me, like sort of a brand name. Yeah, absolutely. You can totally brand yourself. You can use it for all kinds of stuff. And then, I mean, I use it for the boxes when I'm storing stuff. I'll make labels that say whatnot or auction or whatever it is. It saves, so yeah, it does save a lot of time. Welcome in, everybody. We're just chatting right now about thermal printers and labels. Um so if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'm just kind of answering questions as they come in. We did have a raid train this week on July 1st and July 2nd. Thank you to everybody who participated, everyone who watched, everyone who bought. It was a great day. It was really interesting to see the different Canadian sellers and some of the ideas that they had. Um, some of the things that they were doing. Mimics was doing surprise sets with jewelry, and that was really interesting to watch and see how that was working, because they've changed it a little bit. So now when you do a surprise set, it automatically picks the winner right after the person purchases, and then it'll make an announcement under your name that says, so and so, Lainey's daughter just won number 3. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool some of the things that they've added, to make it a little bit more fun and exciting. So I like that feature. Also, I s- I said Groovy did something really groovy, which was she pre-made all of these reseller lots that were trays with jewelry on them that resellers could buy and then resell the little bits inside. And she was starting them at like $15, which was an extremely generous price. Um, but they were really well thought out and really well laid out, and I bought because I thought it was a really great idea. There's a lot of great people who have you can learn a lot from other people by just watching their shows. Um, you got a pink thermal machine. Ooh, I like that, Pac-Man girl. Elaine's daughter says, someone asked about local pickup. Does the buyer have to be local? No, the buyer doesn't have to be local. I've had people use local pickup from far away. And I've had people who have used local pickup who live very close by. They just make sure you're not abusing local pickup and telling people to use local pickup and circumventing whatnot's buyer protections. How do you prove that they picked up? So Elaine's daughter, when they come to pick up the item, you ask them for the code, and you can scan it with your QR code to confirm pickup, or they can give you a number and you enter that number in to confirm pickup, and that's how pickup is confirmed. If they don't pick up within, I think it's 7 to 9 days, you get paid out anyways. So then this stuff is considered abandoned. Hang on one second. I need some. My lips are dry. Good morning, stamp pickers. How are you this morning? Sorry, super dry lips. That's better. Good morning, good morning. So yeah, so when you go to do local pickup, um, it will show you a QR code. Let me see if I can find it on here. Do 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 pickup. So there is a help article that can help you. Um, uh, that was updated May 20th called Free Pickup Best Practices. And there's purchasing safety and physical safety that are on there, which is really awesome to remind you that if you have just your home, please don't, make a meetup plan somewhere that's safe, that's in a well lit public area. And buyers should also be careful about coming into people's homes, right? Because we're friends, but we're also strangers. Um, so let me just see if I can show you here. All right. Manage shows, start sharing. Okay, so if you go to help.whatnot.com, you'll be able to see this article if you search for free pickup. This one is called Offer Pickup as a Seller. And as you can see, it's under your shipping settings. You can enable free pickup just for certain shows, or any other, or for all of your shows. And then you need to make sure you educate your buyers. That information is in there. And then when it's time for pickup, let me see if you can see this from here. Okay, yes, you can. So when it's time for pickup, can you see this right here? There's right here under the QR code, there is a pickup code. There's an actual code. So if you don't want to use the QR code, I'm number one in the storage auction category. That's hilarious. That's hilarious, stamp pickers. I don't know how they come up with these things. That's hilarious. I love that. So like this QR code, you can take the QR code, or you can just give the pickup code. So don't hand over the stuff as a seller until you get that pickup code. Like ask them to show you the pickup code, which they can find by going to on their phone to Whatnot, and then to activity and to their orders, and they just have to click on one of the orders in that group, and it will give you the pickup code. So that's what you want to use, is that pickup code that's right. I don't know if you can see. Can you see my mouse? If I move my mouse, is it visible? I don't know. I don't know if my mouse is visible when I do this, but it's right down here in the bottom corner. Pickup code. And it'll actually show you. You can actually also print out a pickup slip, which is what I do, so that I can match it. Because sometimes I have buyers who come, once a month rather than once a week to pick up their items. So I have like a little section of one room where I have a box, and I just make sure to attach the packing slip so that there's no question about like, well, what about this item? What about that item? You've got the packing slip right there, so you can show them, here's this that you bought, here's the packing slip. So it's called a pickup slip actually instead of a packing slip. All right. So that is that. Let's stop sharing that for a minute. I just have to hit stop sharing, stop sharing. There we go. Yeah, so that's thank you for asking that question. This is a really important question. Free pickup can be used a lot of ways. And I saw someone said, Will Quebec said people are asking for letter mail for small stuff. I always say no. Good for you. A lot of sellers, unfortunately, in Canada are still abusing the free pickup and using it as a way to circumvent um, Whatnot's buyer protections. And they are going to start cracking down. They will start cracking down at some point, and everybody who's been relying upon this as a business model on Whatnot are suddenly going to have no customers because all of their customers are used to it, and suddenly it's gone. And the thing is that here's the thing: is it's remember like when if you were one of the good kids at school that the bad kids would do something in class and the whole entire class would get punished for it. That's what's going to happen. We might lose local pickup in Canada because it's being abused so much. So please don't abuse free local pickup because we're going to lose it if it keeps happening, because Whatnot will just get to that stage where they're like, this is not worth the hassle. We're having too many customers who are getting upset. We're having too many people who are scamming people because they're saying use free local pickup and I'll send you your $500 value Pokemon card, and then oops, it got lost in the mail, right? And you've already given your if you've already given your pickup code, if you give as a buyer, if you give your pickup code to a seller, then guess what? They don't have to give you anything. That you've already told Whatnot that you have the item because you gave that pickup code to the seller. So yeah. Um and Stamp Picker says if you do that, it will you as a seller. I've seen dozens of times. And sellers, please keep it safe for everyone. Yeah, absolutely. And it's a Whatnot's buyer protections are great. Like they have really good buyer protections, but it's all based on watching tracking shipping to know that the item went from A to B, right? Or with free pickup, it's the pickup code is given and then the customer is saying to Whatnot, I've given my pickup code, I've got the stuff, so therefore I'm fine. I no longer need any buyer protections because I got my stuff. And all you have to do is just leave a review. So I really recommend that you be careful about that. So there are sellers who, if you go into it's mostly card sellers, small sellers, and I get it. I get from a buyer perspective, and I get from a seller perspective why you'd want to do it. I get that because um, it's cheaper. It's cheaper to have the seller later on send it to you in the post with with just some stamps. But again, so Eleni's daughter, so one, people are abusing it by by telling buyers to choose local pickups so that they don't have to pay for shipping, and then they're saying later on I will message you with how much the shipping is and you can send me the money um for the shipping, and then I'll ship it to you separately. But they're asking for the pickup codes. So send me your pickup code and then I will ship it to you. Now, it's circumventing Whatnot systems. It's technically against terms of service to do that, and it eliminates buyer protection. So if you're like buying, if you're doing like sports card breaks and you get like a huge hit, um, and then you've decided to do free local pickup, it could literally get lost in shipping it later, but you're also doing a transaction off of Whatnot, right? So either way, Veskfree, how are you, love? How are things where you are? um I miss you. How are you doing? Dragoda says, as a buyer, I'd look into the seller. Yeah. So, and then there are sellers who scam this way. Not a lot in Canada so far. Knock on wood. You're living. I'm glad you're living. I'm okay. I'm also living too. I'm also living too. Um, so if if you I would just be careful and not do it as a seller. Don't abuse free local pickup. It's supposed to be for picking stuff up, and not in person, and not for shipping it later, because it's just that's just not how it's supposed to go. And again, we will lose it. It's it If it starts to get abused, Whatnot will just take it away from us. They might just take it away only from Canada, and because it's kind of rampant in the cards category right now, um, they might just take it away from Canada, so we all can't use it. Dragoda says, I buy from a few sellers that are good and trustworthy. Yeah, make sure you do look into sellers. I mean, if they're new, um, uh, Sandpicker says, you guys should check out my show notes about local pickup. Had to put it in. There's too many issues. Ooh, is it in one of your, is it, do you have it in one of your already planned shows? Now I want to see. Now I want to see. Let me see. Because Corey is brilliant in my train show today. Sweet. All right, we're gonna look. Everyone follows Stamp Pickers. Amazing seller. How many items have you sold now? Can't see. 4.9K items sold. Congratulations. That is awesome. So today he's in a are you in it like a is it a train? Is it train stuff? No. Is it? It is train stuff. Are you selling train stuff? Model trains. Shut the front door. Dude. Do you have any garden railroad? Okay, focus, Kim. All right. My dad was a Lionel, so and then he got into gardens. So let me see if I can. Oh shoot, didn't think of that, did I? Hang on. Seller.whatnot.com. There we go. All right, I'm gonna share this if I can. So Corey has a train show today. He's selling model trains, which is so exciting. Start sharing. Stamp Pickers is live. Let's see if it will show it. Okay, yeah, there's his show notes. Sweet. Let me see if I can plus that. All right. I think that will show up better. There we go. Yes, you should be. Hopefully, you're able to see more of it there. So let's just scroll down. So all items are sold. And then he has Canadian residents and participating countries, weekly bundlings in your wallet. That's good education. Um, please feel free to turn on and save on shipping. And then he says local pickup is only available to Vancouver residents only. Please do not turn on if you're not local. Yeah, because people were doing that and then hoping that Corey would do what others are doing. I love your. Okay, can everybody see Corey's preview video? That is like it's really smart marketing. Corey, well done. Like really smart marketing, showing the stacks of books and stuff like brilliant. And what did you use? Did you use like a Canva template or something for that? Do you tell some of your secrets, Corey? Just a couple of your secrets. Hang on, I'm gonna see. I have a feeling might need to. Sorry, everyone. I got a feeling. Oh, I am on the extension. Okay. Use CapCut. Brilliant. And then you just cut off the part where it goes for CapCut. I love that. So he used CapCut for his video, and it's a really great preview video, and I really love that. Let me just stop sharing now. There we go. Okay, there we are. I think I managed to do that correctly, or not. There we go. That's better. Uh-oh. Are you guys able to see or hear me? Because all I see is a blank screen right now, which always worries me. Okay, good. Sorry, everyone. Okay, good. Because I had problems before, so every time it freezes over here, I think, oh my god, nobody can see or hear me. But it's just my other. my other one. So feel free to ask any questions you want. These are awesome questions that are coming through. There's no such thing as a stupid question or a bad question. The I've may have answered it 20 times before, but I don't mind answering it again, because if you are wondering this thing, then there are probably 100 other people that are also wondering the same thing, and at least one other person in the room is wondering the same thing or didn't even think about that thing. So feel free to ask the questions that you want to ask. One thing, I have sent a message again. I know that a lot of the Whatnot staff are on vacation this week. This is kind of like the traditional week of vacation for a lot of, like, it's like a company wide vacation for a lot of their staff. So that's why, but the support staff are still working. So it's not them, but the other staff, they kind of have a tradition of taking this week off um, around July 1st, July 4th. And so I will find out hopefully next week about whether or not we're going to be having a meetup in Canada. Um, so fingers crossed that we will have one. Hopefully, I'm still pushing for November for in Toronto around the sports card show, because Whatnot staff will already be there for the sports card show. So that's what I'm hoping, is that November. I know it's not the prettiest time of the year to bring people into Toronto, but it's the sports card show. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that that is the first one. However, in the meantime, because that would be the first Canadian meetup that Whatnot's done, or at least allowed to have on their system. But um, Darren from ThriftWorks USA, ThriftWorks, and Thrift Shop Cards has created um, another great tool for Whatnot sellers that currently is being used. It's just started in the US of A, and hopefully it will spread. This is just close that up. It's called Meetup Hub. Wait, stop sharing. There we go. Where is it? There we go. So this is for Whatnot, but it's not of Whatnot. Yeah, that would be great, Vest Free. It would be really awesome. So you can actually see, if you go to meetuphub.app, meetuphub.app, then you will notice it says user locations. It shows you where everybody has signed up. And there's some like hotspots, like Texas and Florida have quite a number. But if you switch it from USA to Canada, there's one. That yellow dot is me. That's me. I'm the only one who signed up so far from Canada. So yeah, so there's a little dot. That's me. So if y'all wouldn't mind signing up at meetuphub.app, it's totally free. It's done by another fellow Whatnot seller, the amazing Darren from ThriftWorks USA, and Thrift Shop Cards. And so obviously there's only me, right? But it would be great if we could all sign up for that, and then we can see where you don't have to. You don't give them your address. You just give them like a city near you. You just say where the city is. So I said Hastings because I tell everyone I'm in Hastings anyways. So you already know. And then we'll be able to see where there's hotspots, and then we can organize meetups around those hotspots. So meetuphub.app. While to have like fun little casual meetups, I think it would be really a great thing. Stamp Pickers asks, do you know if Whatnot is looking to contract with Canada Post and USPS now, or sometime away from that? As far as I know, whether it's with, I think they still are going through Shippo in both countries. And so Shippo has made new deals. And so therefore Whatnot has made new deals. So Whatnot's made a new deal that involves USPS and eliminating their flat rate packaging, which you've probably seen everybody flapping their wings. And my father used to say, "You're flapping your wings like Chicken Little. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Flap your wings." My father actually, when he got upset, would actually start lifting his like he would start lifting his elbows like this. So he actually did flap his wings when he got freaked out about something. If he was really he was definitely not neurotypical. So when he was upset about something, like that's how he showed it. His arms would start to go. He flap his wings. So people are flapping their wings and freaking out because flat rate shipping is going. Again, if there's one piece of some feature on Whatnot that you're relying upon as um the sole part of your income, like this, if I didn't have flat rate shipping, I can't possibly sell on Whatnot because my entire system is based on that, then your business is not resilient at all. So like when gift to chat, the gift to chat function, which was awesome, and RIP, we miss it. When that function was taken away, there were sellers who had relied on that income and made their whole Whatnot personality and their Whatnot shows all about gift to chat, and suddenly that disappeared and they lost that income. Do not rely upon any one feature on Whatnot. Your business should be diversified and resilient so that it can withstand the loss of any little piece, right? Like the randomizer wheel. There are sellers who got really upset when the randomizer wheel was gone because they had relied upon that for so long. There are a lot of Whatnot sellers chat on Reddit. You're right, Elaney. Not always productive chat, but yeah. Sydney, so gift to chat was a feature that um allowed you to, when you were in a show, to go into the buy it now, and you could click on the little gift button. There was a little gift button. You could click on that, and then it would automatically say, do you want to just randomly, you could randomly select somebody in the room, or it would also, the other option was you could say which username you wanted to gift it to. So say I saw something that I thought was awesome for absolute flipping deals, Donna, like some watch or something, and I could then send it, I could buy it and have it sent to her. And Whatnot system knows her address and would send it to her. Or she didn't have to be in the room at the time. Or you could actually enter someone's name and address, and like if you saw that there was something you wanted for um Aunt Sally, and Aunt Sally wasn't on Whatnot, but you wanted to ship something to Aunt Sally, you could ship something to Aunt Sally without them having to be a Whatnot user. But then you could also do the gift to chat, and the gift to chat was what we called blooping. So we called it blooping because it made a bloop sound when it happened. It went bloop. So we called it blooping. And you could just you hit random select, and it would randomly select somebody, and then it wouldn't tell you who that person was, but it would give you the yay YG picker. It would give you the price to ship to them. So in Canada, it was variable, right? So if the randomizer picked somebody who's really far away and it was going to cost me like $25 to send that thing, then I would like exit out and not actually buy. I would go back in, and then, oh, this one's this one's not as expensive. So sorry, people who live far away, if the system pulled up somebody who was really expensive to ship to, because it's different. In the States, they had flat rate shipping, and also they have PWE, plain white envelope, which means that things can just ship in a as long as it can go into a plain envelope, um, and be flat and be bendable, then it could go by plain white envelope. And so a lot of giveaways are just that sort of thing, and gift to chat stuff. People would fill up their buy it nows with things that were lightweight that could go as just in an envelope. So it made a big difference for them. But gift to chat was sundowned, and in Whatnot terms, sundown means that it is it's not that it's completely eliminated, but the problem that they had was that um, the system was constantly having to call the database and ask the database for information, um, and putting too much pressure on the database. There was too many calls to the database, and that was the problem. Whatnot's trying to expand, and the gift to chat was taking up too much bandwidth, too much light, heat, and space. So look at that. There's 2 of us now in Canada on the community meetup hub. So again, if you're interested in, it doesn't mean you have to go to anything. It just you say where you are in the country, just giving a general idea, and that way when we can see that there's some hotspots, we can start creating some meetups, where just casual meetups where you just get together, share information, chat, um, maybe go thrifting or go bowling or whatever. So that's the idea behind that. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing that and stop sharing. There we go. Okay, there we are. Eleni's daughter says, anyone is in the Kingston area would love to meet. Awesome. Eleni's daughter, we often get together in Belleville to go thrifting together. So I don't know if that's too far away from you. But there's a small group of us that get together in Belleville every once in a while. YG Picker says, would love to do that in the Edmonton, Calgary area. I think there's quite a few of us. Yes. Yes. I mean, you could always meet in Red Deer, the halfway point, the halfway house of Alberta. Belleville does have great thrift stores, yes, especially the one by the bridge. Oh, come on. Red Deer's got some pretty parts. Red Deer does not have good thrifting, though. Oh, that's a good point, Cheyenne. Maybe at one of the antique malls or something. Or have one in Calgary and one in Edmonton. Make everybody happy. Or almost everybody happy. But not everybody's thrifting, so you could always just get together. I've seen Whatnot meetups where they just got together and did axe throwing. They had axe throwing and they hung out, and it was more casual and less business networking and teaching. So I think both have their value. So pick which one you would like to do, and then you can always create your own meetup. But first, we need to get more Canadians on the app also, because let's see how many Americans are on right now. Let me share it again. Hang on. Share. So right now we've got, let's see, there are 238 active users and 7 scheduled meetups. And there's probably just, yep, there's Darren in France. And then there's 2 of us in Canada so far. I do not know how many Canadians in total there are and whatnot. Yeah, no, I don't have that information. It's brand new, YG Picker. Yeah, he just launched it like 2 or 3 days ago. So have a great day, Stamp Pickers. Love you. Continue to be as awesome as you are. So yeah, it's 2 or 3 days and he's already got 207 meetups scheduled, and 238 people have signed up already. So if we, you know what? Here's my challenge. Spread the word. Let's try and beat the Americans. Let's see if we can at the start of this, if we can have more people than on, like, they're at 200, they have 235. Yeah, they have 235 people on their let's see. Yeah, USA. Yeah, because there's 3 people outside of the United States. They only have 235 so far. Oh, it also says also active. Hawaii has 1 and Puerto Rico has 1. There you go. That's kind of cool. Good old Puerto Rico. Nobody in Alaska though. So if you get a chance, sign up and spread the word. Spread the word to other people, please. Sign up at Meetup Hub, meetuphub.app. Yes, Hawaii is part of the States. It's just he added it as like a little side thing there, which is kind of cute. Yeah, so they've got like San Antonio, Texas has a meetup that's going to happen. There's a monthly Midwest Whatnot Coffee and Chat meetup with CG Boomerang Echo in Indiana. Oklahoma's got a meetup happening. San Diego, California, Arizona, Alabama. Is that it? And Whatnot New York City Friendsgiving 2026 Connect Network Shop Celebrate. That sounds pretty cool. Anyways, so that's the meetup hub. Hopefully we will have a Whatnot meetup in the future. And I'm hoping that's going to be I'm hoping we're going to start in Toronto, just because it'll be easier for me to get to, and then spread it around the country one step at a time. But I won't know that for probably another 3 or 4 weeks, whether or not it's going to happen this year or not. I know I've been saying for like a year and a half now that Canada's going to have a meetup, and now I'm not promising that because Toronto is expensive. This is by the airport, so it's a little less expensive. So you can like stay in like Brampton, for example. For when I flew out to and you're not that far away. Like you're still only 15 minutes away. I stayed at a Hojo. Yeah, you could drive in from Kingston, drive in, and also the other thing is too, if there's a whole group of us that want to like rent out of like a Verbo or something, we can have a whole house to ourselves, right? So there's all kinds of options. There's all kinds of options available. But if you're going to stay by the airport, 15-20 minutes extra drive for like a third of the price. I stayed at the Howard Johnson in Brampton, and yeah, it was cheap and cheerful. It was basically a motel, but it was clean. It was clean, and I was able to sleep, and that's all I needed. I needed a bed and a bathroom, so it did the trick. That's all I really needed. So there's lots of options, but that'll be in the future once we know what the date is. Just kind of keep it in the back of your head that I'm hoping November. But I don't want to set it up on the community hub yet on Darren's platform until I've heard back from Whatnot, because if Whatnot says that they're going to help in any way as part of it and put it on their meetup, because if you go to meetups.whatnot.com, you can actually, if you want to, I do not need to be the one that does a meetup. Meetups.whatnot.com. Hang on. Let me just pull it up. And then I need to go to manage show and start sharing. And there we go. So if you go to meetups.whatnot.com, they have actual Whatnot meetups. Let's see if I can make this smaller so that you can see it better. Whatnot meetups. Make it even smaller. Minus. No, that's too small. Plus. So if you go to meetups, again, meetups.whatnot.com. Yes, spread the word. Awesome. Thank you, YG Picker. So you can find out about seller meetups that are and how to host them. And if you want to host one, you can apply. And the calendar currently has Oklahoma has a antiques and vintage decor seller meetup in July 25th in Oklahoma, and then Gen Jig seller meetup is a Whatnot sponsored one, and that one's going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina on July 28th. But that's all that's in the calendar right now. And again, they haven't hosted one in Canada yet. So YG Picker says I'm plan on coming to Ontario in October. I'd totally go to one then. Awesome. Yeah, so let's think more about that. If you want, you can apply to be a host in your area through Whatnot. But again, they haven't gone outside of the United States yet. I think they're just trying to just figure out the system first and what works best, and when they should have staff and when they shouldn't, etc. But it's pretty awesome. I went to the summit, and it was amazing. And I've seen pictures and talked to friends who have been to Whatnot sponsored meetups, and they are really great. There's like education and networking mixed into them both. So, and you can also have like a category meetup, where you focus on, like the antiques and vintage decor, which is also, I think, a really great idea. Okay, so that is it for that. Any other questions? How about it's after 11, so everybody share where you're from and what you sell so that we can all follow each other and get to know each other. So I'll go first. My name is Kim. Supposedly, I'm the number one in storage auctions right now on Whatnot Canada. I don't know how that happened. Yeah, but welcome. And I live in Hastings, just outside Hastings, Ontario, which is about 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours away from Toronto. In I'm right on the Trent River. The beautiful Trent River is right below my house. So, yay. Yeah, yeah, I know. But Shauna, like, it doesn't make any sense because it doesn't make any sense to me because I usually do estate sales, not storage, but I don't know. Sabine eyeglasses. I don't know where I got these from. I just grabbed the first ones that I had. I did have I had a big week last week. I wasn't able to do shows yesterday. I got a huge migraine. This weather is horrible. Um, Iona, so Eleni's daughter says hello. I'm Iona. Did I say that right? Is it Iona? I'll be selling vintage decor, but I have a clothing sale tomorrow, higher end, new with tags mostly. Oh, that is awesome. That is so exciting. And hello, Deborah. Sorry. Hello, Deborah. How are you? Um, YG Picker says, I'm in Edmonton and I sell a little bit of everything, toys, DVDs, trinkets, you name it. I hope to be like Kim when I grow up. No, don't be like me. Oh my goodness. Hot Mess Express. You do not want that. Oh, that reminds me. Speaking of Hot Mess Express, I got to grab all the stuff that put that in with this stuff. Okay. I will be doing a show later on today. I've got more stuff to go through. So, I have boxes behind me that need to be organized. So we're going to do it together, later on today. And yeah, and toys. Eleni's daughter says, I know sellers to do really well with toys. Toys do really well. I haven't had any luck, like great luck with DVDs, but then I don't list them. I just kind of show them, and I just buy them. I buy them at auction when they're cheap, and then, if they sell, great. If not, I can always donate them, and someone else can get joy out of them. But I'm always nervous. I don't know why, but anyone else want to share any of their shows or share where they're from or what they sell? Otherwise, or if you have a question, feel free to ask your questions. Dragoda says, I love your book shows. I got some new books, Dragoda. I got some new books yesterday that are pretty cool. So I think there's one that you may really like. You might not, I don't know. But it's pretty, I think it's pretty cool. And I've got some more history books. So, and then I've got boxes and boxes and boxes of books we need to go through and sort. So we'll be doing that next week. I need, with Canada Day and everything, I didn't do as many shows as I wanted to. So, next week I have to kind of double down. So we're going to be going long and hard, later on this week. Okay. Last call for any questions. If I missed a question, let me know. I'm just going to check. If I did miss anything. If you have a question, make sure you put a question mark so that I can see it, as I'm scrolling through, because it shows up as yellow. Why am I there? Following. Okay. Yeah. Nope. We're good. Okay. All right. So thank you guys for hanging out. I know this is a short show, but sometimes short and cheerful is better, than nothing at all. Let me see if there's anybody in the community category to raid. Because I want you to continue talking and networking together. But I do not see anybody. Well, I see thrift shop cards. We could go into thrift shop cards. It's a great place to network. Um, Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Let's see. Creations by the River is a she's a friend. She's down the road actually. She's not far away from me. She's showing off some of her handmade vintage paintings and books. So, Dorota, you might find something interesting in there. And we're just going to go in and show our love. Put up some emojis, some Canada flag emojis to show your love and support, or some hearts, whatever you want. Just put an emoji in, and stick around for just a few minutes to help her with the algorithm. You can even just leave her on in the background if you want, to help her out with the algorithm. And I love you guys. Have a great day. I will see you on later today with selling some crap. I mean, dead people stuff. Love you. You too, JY. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a